Hey guys, today is a challenge day. It's the Valentine's Day challenge hosted by Heidi Sonboul DIY. Make sure you head on over to her channel, check it out, and click on the playlist in my description box to get a ton of DIY inspiration. For our first DIY, I'm taking one of these hearts that I bought from the Dollar Tree. It's like I guess you'd call it kind of like a pallet heart. I don't know, these are brand new this year. I really am enjoying them. I think they're really cute. So anyhow, I used my ruler and I sectioned off each of the rows into two different sections to make it look like two different types of pallet wood, so to speak. So I'm just going to paint those in with a watered down paint mixture. Let's see. I will list all the paint colors and supplies that I used on today's DIYs in my description box down below, as always. So if you are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. I'm Sarah with Jujube Crafts and More. And if you're not new and coming by for a second, third, or many times over, thank you so much for stopping back by. It means the world to me that you came back to my channel to check out what I'm doing. So then I decided that I wanted to fill in the palette areas, like where it is separated. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some popsicle sticks and I am just going to lay them down, kind of follow the heart, and just clip off a little bit of these medium-sized popsicle sticks to fit those areas. So you see, I just grab a pencil and I'm just kind of following the line. It doesn't have to be exact here, just enough to give. What I'm going to do is put some nautical rope in between those pieces of wood. And so I wanted to have something for the nautical rope to help hold on to and to be able to glue to. So that's why I did that. And here I sped it up so that you don't have to sit through all that. But yeah, you get the idea. I'm just using a little bit of those popsicle sticks for the outside areas there. Next, I'm going to take the light colored nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue that right in between those pieces of wood. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to kind of separate out the strands and hot glue them down. I figured by separating them out a little bit, it would make it lay a little flatter. Next, I'm taking a dark pencil. This is like an 8B pencil. So if you are an artist and know that's a pretty soft pencil. And so it creates a darker line and is a little more smudgy. But you could do this with just a regular pencil. You might have to go over it a couple of times to get that really nice smudged look. But I thought that looked pretty good for giving the impression of pieces of wood put together. So I hope everyone had a very happy new year. We didn't do anything really. All three of my girls stayed up until midnight with me and we just hung out, watched some movies, and, just brought in the new year, hoping for the best this year. I think like everyone at this point. So I had originally filled in these holes where the original hanger was, and I decided that I actually did want to use the holes again. So I just poked out I had just used spackle to fill those in, and so I just poked out the spackle, and I threaded through some cotton twine yarn. I don't know if it's not yarn. I don't know. It's like cotton twine. I guess that's all it is. You get it, I think, in the like automotive section in Dollar Tree, but it's the same kind of color as that nautical rope, and so that's why I'm using it. So I just put a knot in it so that the knot was on the front side of the sign here, and then I am just threading on some of these wooden beads that I got from Amazon. And then I'm just knotting. I just pulled the thread or the twine through the hole, and then I just double knot, put a double knot through that to hold it in place. And then I'm just hot gluing those threads in the back so that the beads stay in place where they're supposed to be and don't slide down. Next, I decided that I wanted to grunge this up a little tiny bit, so I'm just taking some elephant paint from Apple Barrel and a dry brush, and I'm just kind of going over those lines, and then I'm just going to kind of grunge it up a little bit. I seriously hope you guys can't hear the clock that is sitting right here. It is so stinking loud. I can't even believe it right at the moment. So I apologize if you can hear the click tick of the clock. But there isn't much I can do about that right at the moment. So I wanted to smudge out the lines a little bit. So I'm going back in with the paint, watered down paint that I'd used previously. And I am just going over those gray marks with the paint, just to soften them up and kind of smudge them out a little bit. And my kitten had to make an appearance. I have two, but the other one, she's never around. So here's a look at the final project. I think it turned out so cute. I love it. So moving on to DIY number 2, we're going to take some of these 1 gallon paint sticks. I bought these off of Amazon. And I am just going to use the same watered down paint that I used for the heart project. And originally I was going to do like a kind of a pattern of the colors. So I was going to do the 4 colors, and then I was going to do them in a pattern. And then once I got them painted and laid out, I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of makes almost like an ombre, and I really liked that a lot better. So I ended up changing my mind at the last minute and kind of making this an ombre. And I think that this is showing up a little more orangey in tone than it actually is in real life. They're definitely more pinky colored, the paints are. So I found this heart a while back at the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section. And so I am just taking the hearts apart, and I'm just going to use this larger heart. But before I do anything with the heart, I want to put my sign together. So I just cut down two more of those paint sticks, and I'm just going to use a hot glue and wood glue combo here to attach all of the paint stir sticks together to make a sign base. And I'm going to do that with both sides there. And then after that, I realized that these paint sticks are pretty bowed. So they weren't laying super flat, and I was afraid that it was going to kind of pull from the support sticks on the outside. So I just am taking some leftover pieces of the jumbo size popsicle sticks that you can get from Walmart on the back, just to create some added security to make sure this doesn't fall apart in the future. And here I'm just kind of seeing where I'm going to put my heart. So next I wanted to add some greenery to my heart. So I'm just taking some of this boxwood that I purchased from Walmart. And I'm just going to hot glue the sections. I'm just taking the smaller pieces of the boxwood off of the main piece of the stem. They just pull right off. And I am just laying them down and gluing them together over the top of the heart. And then I will clip off, using my scissors, some of the extra little tiny pieces and just kind of put them in where I think it needs extra filling, so that it's not, I don't mind that the wood is showing at all. Like, I think that kind of is rustic and cute, but I did want it to be mostly filled up. So I am just using some littler pieces to fill it in a little bit better. Next, I'm going to take one of these treat bags. These were a 4-pack that came from the Dollar Tree. And I am just going to use one of the treat bag back sides. So there's nothing on this piece of fabric. And I'm just going to sketch out a banner, template, I guess. And cut that out. And I just need 4 pieces because I'm going to spell out the word love. So I'm just using a pink pen that I got also from the Dollar Tree. Everything's from the Dollar Tree. But it's a felt tip pen, and it worked really, really good for this fabric. It didn't bleed or anything. So like I said, I will put everything in the description box down below. So if you're interested in knowing exactly which kind of pens these are, you can check that out in the description box. And I'm just spelling out the word love. And then I will go around each one of these little banner pieces with little, like, faux stitching, I guess, with the pink marker. Next, I'm going to take some of this jute twine from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to pull off a length. And then I'm going to get some of the smaller beads from that same set that I purchased from Amazon. And I am just going to put a bead on and then one of the little banner pieces. So I'll start with the very end letter. So I put a bead on and then E, and then I'll put a bead on and then the V, bead, O, bead, L, bead. And I'm just hot gluing those little banner pieces right to the jute twine. Next, I'm just going to wrap the twine around to the back side of this heart and secure it with some hot glue. Then once that's all done, I'm going to secure the whole entire thing, the whole entire heart, to my sign here. And as you can see, the little banner wasn't laying flat, so I'm just adding a little tiny bit of hot glue and just gluing those little letters down. Then I wanted to add a bow at the bottom of my sign here, just because that's kind of where everything, like all the stems, ended, and so it was just kind of looked funny right there at the bottom of the heart. So I wanted to add a little bow, so I'm just using some of that leftover, it's not burlap, but leftover fabric from the back of those treat bags, and I just made a really easy bow. So next I'm going to add a hanger for the back, just using some jute twine, hot glue, and a little bit of fabric to secure it a little bit better. And I'm going to clip off the ends, and our project is complete. And here is a look at it hanging on my wall. I really love how this turned out, and I'm so glad that I kind of went with that ombre look. I think it turned out just adorable. So our final DIY for today is going to be a little box. I'm using one of these pallet boxes, I think that's what they're called, from the Dollar Tree. They're just the mini ones. And I am again using that same paint that I've used previously in the other two DIY projects that I presented to you earlier. But this time I am just using the regular pink colors. So I did a light and dark color on the front, and then dark for the rest of the box. Next, I'm going to take these little hearts. These I have purchased, I believe, from Amazon, oh gosh, years ago, long time ago. I've had them in my stash for a really long time. But they're just regular little wood hearts, and I am just going to paint them in the pinks and red colors. So I'm just painting 6 of them. And I'll give them each 2 coats of paint. And I'm using the non-watered down paint. It's just regular paint. Next, I'm taking some of the paint for these light pink hearts. I used the darker pink. And I'm just using a stylus there from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just adding little polka dots to the front of these hearts. So you could definitely do this using just the end of something small, like a paintbrush, or if you've got like a straight pin, you could use the head of a straight pin for this too. So while those are drying, I am going to write on the front of the box, and I just decided to hand letter this out. So I'm just going to write "Love Grows Here." So I'll write it out in pencil first, and then I'll go over it with a fine paintbrush and a little bit of watered down, very lightly watered down paint, black paint from Apple Barrel. And I get my apple barrel paint from Walmart. I don't know if there's anywhere else to get that really, but that's where I pick up mine. And then on the fronts of these hearts, for each color, I'm going to write love on one and XOXO on the other. So I'll do that to all 6 of the hearts. And then I'm taking some of this pink gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap it around each of these little sticks. I just have these round sticks that I purchased. I have no idea where. And I just hot glued them to the back of the hearts. But you could use like toothpicks or, cut up skewers, or use small dowels. That's what these are. They're just really super small dowels. So yeah. So I'm just going to dovetail the ends of the ribbons. I know you can't see it. See, I switched my camera angle again, and I'm out of frame. I don't know. I can't seem to get the hang of this yet, so bear with me, guys. Sorry. Oh, goodness. I'll get there, I promise. So I filled up the box with I put some floral foam in there, and then I put in a little bit of pink burlap in the front to kind of cover up the floral foam. And then I added some boxwood greenery so that it would cover up the floral foam. And then I'm just adding in my little hearts. So here is a look at the final project. I really think this turned out just adorable, and I'm loving the pink and reds together. I just think it's so cute. So let me know in the let me know in the comments down below which project was your favorite from today. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope that you have fun checking out the playlist for today's challenge. I will talk to you guys later. Have a happy, healthy, safe, and blessed day.